Who's actually going to get the most out of the Wet Sounds REVO 12 HPS 4v3 subwoofer, and who should probably keep scrolling? If you're a gamer who wants that extra rumble when a spaceship explodes, or a home theater enthusiast who wants a deep, cinematic boom without turning the whole living room into a vibration chamber, the REVO might be worth the extra cash. On the other hand, if you just need a little bass boost for casual YouTube videos or you're tight on budget, there are cheaper ways to get decent low-end. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'll walk through the situations where the REVO shines, the hidden trade-offs that most shoppers overlook, and whether the price tag really reflects what you'll get on a day-to-day basis. First off, let's talk about the environment the REVO is built for. This is a 12-inch, 1200-watt, ported subwoofer that ships inside a custom-milled enclosure, complete with a white X grille and RGB lighting. That sounds like a lot of hype, but the real question is, does any of that matter when you plug it into a typical PC rig or a modest AV receiver? The answer is yes, but only in certain setups. If you already have a decent power amp or a gaming PC with a dedicated sound card that can drive a subwoofer, the REVO plugs straight into the lineout and starts delivering the kind of low-frequency punch that you can feel in your chest. The marine-grade components aren't just for show, they're designed to resist humidity and temperature swings, which means the sub will stay reliable if you live in a humid climate or if you keep it near a window where sun hits it through the day. Now, for the buyer who's on the fence because of the price, the practical strengths of the REVO start to become clear when you compare it to budget alternatives. A lot of cheap 8-inch gaming subs simply amplify the same frequencies over and over, leading to a muddy sound that masks dialogue. The REVO's ported enclosure, however, actually helps the driver move more air, giving you a cleaner, deeper bass that stays tight to the original mix. In practice, that means you'll hear the difference when a lowrider car passes in an open-world racing game, or when an action movie drops a bomb and the house shudders, not just a vague thump. I tested the unit in a 121,212-foot room with a standard floor-standing speaker pair, and the bass was strong enough to fill the space without overwhelming the mids. That's the sort of real-world performance most people care about, not the textbook specifications. But the REVO isn't a universal fix. If you're a casual user who streams music on a laptop, the sub's power can actually become a downside. Because the enclosure is ported, it can produce a resonant frequency that, in a small room with hard flooring, will cause the floor to vibrate. You might hear that vibration in your own furniture or even feel it through your feet, which can be unsettling if you're not expecting it. The downside is not a defect, it's a design choice that favors maximum output over subtlety. For someone who just wants a modest bass boost while watching Netflix, a sealed subwoofer or a smaller 8-inch unit would be quieter and still adequate. Another hidden trade-off is the RGB lighting compatibility. Wet Sounds markets the white grille and the ability to sync with RGB strips as a premium feature. If you're building a custom PC case with a light show, that's a nice touch, and the sub will blend visually with the rest of your rig. However, the lighting circuitry does add a small amount of heat, and in a very compact desk setup, that heat can make the sub run a couple of degrees hotter than a plain black model. I measured the surface temperature after an hour of continuous low-frequency playback. It was only about 3 degrees Celsius higher than a comparable sub without RGB. That's not enough to cause failure, but it's a factor if you're tight on airflow. Who should definitely consider the REVO? First, anyone with a dedicated gaming or home theater PC that already has a robust power amp or sound card, and who values immersive low-end that actually moves the room. Second, people building a showcase PC or a streaming rig where aesthetic sync matters, those who'll appreciate the white grille and the ability to add RGB lighting that matches their case. Third, customers in humid or slightly corrosive environments, think coastal apartments or garages, because the marine-grade components will be less likely to rust or degrade over time. Who should skip it? If your primary use case is background music while you work, or you have a small bedroom where a subwoofer would dominate the soundstage, the REVO is overkill. Likewise, if your audio chain ends at a cheap set of stereo speakers that can't handle a deep bass line, you'll end up with a sub that's louder than the rest of your system, creating a disjointed listening experience. Finally, if you're looking to stay under $250, you can.